all you Splinterheads. Bronzedrag0n here saying thanks for dropping by. If you like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up, and after you've watched a few videos, think about subscribing. Thanks. I'm coming at you today with a short one, but it's something that a lot of us have been looking forward to. Tomorrow, in-game, I guess depending upon when you watch this, but this would be, today's June 12th, so June 13th, they are releasing the guild power changes into Splinterlands. Okay, we're going to do a short go over with it, the details, and then I will include the link in the show notes so that you can go over it in more detail, because I'm not going to sit here and just read the whole thing. But it's something a lot of us have been looking forward to. I mean, for a couple years now, I've been donating to my guild. I'm not a huge donator, but I like them to know that I'm putting in towards the buildings. You know, there's a lot of bigger guys than me, but going forward, there's going to be some ramifications and some changes. But I think all these changes are pretty much for the best. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Like I said, it'll go live tomorrow on June 13th. So they do a little bit of a storyline, but they said they're excited to announce the guild powers going live on June 13th. So not only the guild powers going live, but the 7-day new guild member probationary period, and the option to purchase bloodstones and power stones with DECB, should you still have some DECB left, is going live tomorrow. So those three changes. So they basically call it a new way to level up guild buildings. It's really the same thing. Okay, they're just a different face on it, and they're calling the points different. So now, instead of just burning DEC, you're going to be basically contributing to guild power. So you're burning DEC or DECB, and it's going to be converted to guild power points. And then going forward, you can choose where you put those guild power points, but spending them is going to be the same as it always was, right? So they put a new, they showed the artwork here. You can see that instead of DECP or DEC, you have a Get GP button, and then you have to put in the proper amount of DEC or DECB to go ahead and get that GP. And then after that, you would use that to donate to your guild. Okay, but it's not exactly that straightforward. In that you can donate. I'm skipping forward here. Donate or undonated GP. Okay, so here's a wrench in the cogs. So you can donate, and if you fully donate, then you don't have the chance of getting that back. Or you can go the undonated GP route, in the fact that if you happen to leave the guild for some purpose, whether they kick you out or whether you decide to leave, form your own guild, whatever it is, you take 90% of your guild points with you, and the guild retains 10%. Which could lead to some ramifications, and they go through it in this article. Depending upon if you were a big spender and you left your guild, some of the buildings could level down. That's one of the ramifications. This also calls into question whether guilds are going to start mandating that you have a certain amount of permanent donated. Which, I mean, guilds might say, okay, so the fee now is you have to do, 1,000 donated guild power per week and 2,000 undonated, or whatever the number is. That could be a thing now. Luckily, in my guild, there's not really any limitations, and they don't make you do anything. But that could be a thing that comes into play. So, and they show the one of the new art screens here. To get guild power, players will need to burn an equal amount of DEC or DECB. We kind of went over that, and this is the new screen, what it looks like. So pretty straightforward. It's just to read different terms. The DEC will be, DEC or DECB will be burnt on the back end. They go ahead and state that once you do it, there's no converting back as well. You know, once you go ahead and convert 10,000 DEC or whatever the number is and get 10,000 guild points, there's no going ahead and converting that back into DEC because DEC was burnt, right? Going forward to try and pump up DEC a little bit, right? Decrease the supply. So we went over this part, and they make it very upfront. So when you look at your name in your guild list under the guild listing and hover over the various amounts, it's straightforward. It shows you exactly what you've got, where it's gone to, which is another point. Once you donate your guild power, you can't redistribute that, okay? So if you say, okay, I donate 50,000 guild power to the store, then you can't come back and say, oh, let's go ahead and shift that around. The only way you're getting that back is if you leave the guild and you take your 90% with you, okay? And that leads to another point in the fact that you don't have to spend all your guild power up front. Say, for instance, if you participated in the 5th anniversary event and you have some guild power to spread around a little bit, you don't necessarily have to spend it all up front. You can spend a little bit at a time. You can go towards one building and keep some, but make the best choice you can. In our guild, we kind of take a vote and start focusing our efforts on one building, whichever building people think we should maximize the next. That's what we go at. So in some guilds, I'm sure the guild leader makes a decision, whatever. But make wise decision because you don't get it back until you leave guild. Let's see. They go on and talk about treatment of existing buildings. At the time of release, all existing guild buildings will switch from required DEC or DECP. Yeah, it's just a terminology change, right? You're switching from needing DEC or DECB to guild power to level up. Next change, big change, is a 7-day new guild member probationary period. I have not really seen or been aware of this, but I've heard stories, especially in some of the larger guilds, where people guild hop and do various things that are basically, I don't want to say against the rules, but basically bending the rules, getting around the rules, whatever you say, whatever you want to call it. They're trying to put a stop to it. This is kind of along the lines of how they put the limit on renting cards, so you couldn't rent cards and then use them on multiple accounts at the same time by swapping them back and forth. This is kind of the way I look at it, except for in this case, the card is a person, right? So the new changes are whenever you get into a new guild, you have a 7-day probationary period. And basically you don't get most, you can read through all the details, but you basically don't get most of the good stuff about a guild, all the bonuses and shopping on the store and stuff like that. So let's see, ranked battle bonuses from the Focus Lodge do not work. Shop discounts do not work. You can't buy items from the guild store. It's possible to earn merits and SPS from brawls, but the merit bonus from the guild store does not apply, and the merit bonus from the guild store does not apply to merits earned in daily focus and season reward chests. It's a lot. So there will be a countdown timer shown on guild buildings page, so you know how much time remains on the 7-day probationary period is over. So this is basically preventing basically really strong people with a lot of guild power and whatnot, strong decks, from maybe going from one guild to another, and perhaps participating in their brawls. One person participating in multiple brawls for multiple, whether it's maybe it is a guild and then there's secondary guild, because we all know we have big guilds and then they have overflow guilds. Anyway, they're putting a stop to it, or at very least stopping most of that kind of activity. So pick a good guild, stay with them. You know, I've had a good run with my guild. I'm not the best player, but we all try to participate. And if you're a new player, look for a guild. It makes your game experience a lot better. And the last little change they're making here is that you can buy the Bloodstones and Power Stones with DECB. Personally, I used all my DECB up in the 5th anniversary event, so they're trying to get rid of that for obvious reasons in the whole objective to pump DEC, right? So, but now you can buy Bloodstones or Power Stones with DECB if you happen to have it, or DEC. So I'll leave it at that. If you're interested in the FAQ, they have some interesting questions down here, but I think that gives you a good primer. If you're interested, go ahead and check out the link in my show notes and look through the particulars, but look for that tomorrow. Also, I wanted to mention that this last weekend, I started a new channel. Look for the link in the show notes. If you're interested in physical card games, physical CCGs, namely Magic the Gathering and Pokemon, check out my channel. I decided to do a secondary channel because I was interested in doing some content like that, and I just realized that a lot of people who frequent this channel, which I appreciate, might not be interested in that kind of content. So I made a second channel. So check it out, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Otherwise, I made 250 subscribers over the weekend. So thank you for that. I do appreciate it. This has been Bronze Dragon. I hope everyone on your side is happy and healthy, and I will see you on the flip side.